Okay, welcome everyone. Just a quick meeting here today, not a sales pitch, but I wanted to have a really quick conversation with Brett Furman to talk about what's working right now to generate listings and build a scalable real estate business in general. Brett is one of the biggest users of the Thanks.io platform, a very heavy direct mail user. But what's interesting is what he's doing to merge direct mail with all the other systems he has in place. So, Brett, I'll let you talk here in a minute, but I'm just going to introduce you if that's all right, and just talk about
Sure.
your experience so you don't have to. So Brett's been in the business for about 4 decades in residential real estate. You've
Yeah.
consistently been one of the top producing agents in your market there on the main line in Philadelphia, right?
Yeah.
Um,
Suburban Philadelphia.
Suburban Philadelphia. You do 100,000, several hundreds of thousands annually in listing fees directly from direct mail. So you
Yeah.
attribute a couple 100,000 in GCI to direct mail alone. Of course, you have deep expertise in direct mail. Sometimes you have more than me, which is cool because you've been doing it a lot longer than I have, and specifically database driven marketing. You've been working with CRMs probably longer than almost any agent out there, right? And you've been featured by Group Direct Marketing over 10 years ago for your success with direct mail. So other people have talked about what you're doing, and you're known for building repeatable systems instead of one-off campaigns. So I'm just mentioning all that for those of you watching to show that among our users of Thanks.io, specifically the real estate ones, Brett is probably the one with the most experience doing this stuff, direct response marketing with direct mail. So, and he's actively sharing systems that are producing results because you're still producing every day, like yourself.
Yes. I'm an
Yeah,
active producer.
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
in the field every day.
yeah. And then just myself, just so until we get into the meat here, I'm a founder of Thanks.io. I've been around direct mail automation now for about 7 or 8 years specifically, but I've also been in the real estate business since the late 1990s. And that's about it. So, Brett, I'm going to ask you some questions if it's all right.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And yeah, and I'll start by just asking, a lot of agents have completely abandoned direct mail over the years. You've probably seen this. It was probably more competitive maybe a decade or two ago than it is now. I'm guessing because of the onslaught of digital channels. But do you want to talk about why you still are going with direct mail heavy and what you've seen other agents do direct mail?
Well, first, I want to thank you for the introduction. That was very nice. This is probably my most favorite topic. If you could pick something that gets me super excited, it's marketing and specifically direct mail marketing. I'm a student of it. I've been studying it. I've been using it, close to 40 years with direct marketing. And what I've noticed, Ryan, is that my response rates have changed immensely since I've started working with your company, Thanks.io, which I want to give you a huge shout out for. So, like I was seeing, in early days, maybe a 1-2% response rate, which, was okay, good, but when you start, amplifying that, 10, 30 times that, it gets really exciting for me. And that's why I'm so excited to talk about this. But what I've seen consistently is that very few agents are using direct marketing very consistently. It's kind of like a one-off. Hey, I just sold a house. Let me just send something out here and see what happens. It's kind of like a shotgun approach of, let's try this, let's try that. You know what? It didn't work. Heck, I'm just going to now try Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. And what I found at all those various sources, and I use them all, I get the highest response on my direct mail. For one, it's a tangible thing. People get these cards in the mail. I found that the competition in the mailbox, Ryan, is so much less right now. Like, I've been doing this, 38 years. And when I used to send direct mail out, the mailbox was stuffed with cards and mailings. Like when you would go to someone's house, mail would just pour out of the mailbox. Right now, there's very little competition. So my space is, I send a card out, it's usually just me, and the agents in my marketplace aren't using it almost at all.
I
So
don't get
it's
any mail from realtors.
yeah, it's like it's the best. So when people go left, I like going right, and that's my best analogy. Um, and then when it gets received, many of these people are holding the mail. How I know this, Ryan, is I just went on a listing, and I'm going to give you another huge shout out. It's $1.5 million listing, And I got there and I said, how'd you get to me? And she was on the table. She had a stack of stuff and she reached in her stack and said, here's this card you sent. And I'm looking at the card. I'm like, oh my God. Like, and, and those are the types of things that just, get my attention. And it's really about, being remembered and it's consistency. It's not about a one-off send. It's really doing it, consistently.
Yeah, that one listing, if it's the one I think you're talking about, that's the one where you're sending 2 cards a day on
Yeah.
autopilot. It's not even a
Yes.
big budget campaign, but
Yes.
you want to talk a little bit about that campaign?
Yeah.
The
So that campaign we target now. I've been working with Thanks.io and we've come up with some really sophisticated targeting where we look at, by pricing, how long people have been living in houses, how old certain people are. We look at household incomes. We look at distance from the office, all these types of markers to figure out who our best targets are. And then we test them. We do like A/B testing. We send one version out this way, one version out this way, and then surprise, version B works better than A. So we turn off version A and, you know, throw some more version B, and it just works extremely, extremely well.
Yeah, yeah. I think that one you're at $600 in spend, and you've got that one listing. But I think I took a look before our call. I think you're averaging a lead for about $50 a piece, but that's homeowners likely to sell in your target downsizer demographic who own homes at least $1 million or more
And I
for
think
50
what
bucks.
your callers, well, the one takeaway, if I could say this to anyone, my focus in my business is about representation of home sellers. And I do minimal buyer work. Maybe if my seller is going to buy, I'm involved in that process. But my business is about generating listings, and I am not using any, let's call them services like, Zillow leads and Realtor.com, and all my stuff is organic, and I've never paid a dime for any one of those other services that I just mentioned.
Yeah, and what you spend on mail is probably a fraction of what you would have to spend to buy a zip code for one of the portals.
I'm hearing, Ryan, from other agents that some of these referrals from some of these large companies, the one with the Z, I'm hearing, up to 40% of your revenue goes out the door to that company, which to me seems very high.
Yeah.
But
And with a channel like Mail, Google, other channels are just way more affordable. The problem is you have to do a little bit of work and do it consistently versus just having the Z send you a lead.
yeah, it's
But
not the easy button. I mean, that the easy button is, hey, I'm going to get one of these lead companies. I'll pay them 40%. I don't have to think about it or do anything. Versus, hey, I made, several hundred thousands of dollars a year from direct mail. Which is a better option? You tell me.
well, and which is more sustainable because Zillow could
Yes.
change their business model tomorrow, as they
Yeah.
have. The Postal Service, I hope, isn't going anywhere. So
No, they're not going anywhere.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So so right now, do you want to talk a little bit specifically about how you're merging the direct mail with your other back end systems? Because you're not just doing mail, you're tying it
No.
to sophisticated CRM workflows and automations on the back end. Yeah.
Yeah, my secret power is my CRM. That's my secret power, and the power of that gets to amplify the direct mail. But everything is built around the direct mail, right? It's the physical, the touch, seeing your piece, and you get a really good retention on that, right? Whereas the emails and the text messages delete, 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 but it's still very, very important to touch the consumer in all different ways and different quantities. So I've had super success amplifying my results by texting, by emailing, and calling. There's a calling sequence in there as well to really increase my results on the direct mail program.
Yeah. And I think the important thing is that anytime you get an action on your direct mail, it's talking to those other systems.
Absolutely is. And those other systems, the key with them, Ryan, is it does help to update because like the text message could say, "Hey, did you get my card? I just sent you a value of your home, just checking, did you get that card? Sometimes the response, the conversation I get back is, I didn't get it, or my address has changed, or my email has changed. So it's a way to update all these systems simultaneously, which is huge for me.
Yeah, I just want to double tap on that. So basically with Thanks.io, you get a scan on a just listed or just sold, or you're doing your campaign where you're offering people to check their home value. And then if they take an action and they scan the QR code, your CRM starts talking to them on different channels.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is all possible these days, and I think it's one of the for the agents who just take what'd you call it, a shotgun approach, and
Yeah.
they send 100
Shotgun.
just sold cards. They get no response because they don't have any call to action on the card to begin with, and they're like, mail doesn't work. Well, it's not just sending mail one time; it's sending mail and connecting it to your other systems.
And it's smart mail, using smart mail. So that's where Thanks.io comes in. It's smart, right? We're creating customizable pieces to our audience, right? It's not just sending, here's my picture, my name, whatever, here's a recipe. These are targeted to specific people and looking for certain actions from those people.
Yeah, your market update postcard is awesome. I've been telling a lot of people about that. I'll share, Brett. We send a monthly postcard to anybody who takes action on any of your mailings, but AI writes the card every month. And it basically just gives them a quick update on what interest rates are and what sale conditions have been in their neighborhood. But your scan rate on that, I don't know if you peaked. That you have about 350 people on that list. Some months, like 20% of them, like 50, 60 people scan that thing.
Yes.
Yeah. So
One of the things that you've created for me, Ryan, is my biggest challenge right now is keeping up with so many responses coming at me at a given time. It's a great problem to have, but it is a problem I'm having right now, and I'm working on addressing that, but it's a
yeah.
fun problem.
Yeah, you don't have time because those all hit at the same time. So you'll get
They
20
do.
scans a day. You don't have time to call all those people.
Except I will say, and I don't know who it was, I think it was someone at your office. We started staggering some of the mail. We've tried, dropping, 1,000 in one day and then slowly dripping them out. We've done all that to try to equal out the
Yeah.
responses.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and just to restate, do you mind sharing your overall GCI for like 25 or like ballpark?
It'll be,
You don't want to say it, but it's top, is it top like 5%
yeah.
of like all producers? Yeah. You
Yes.
don't have to give specific numbers,
Yeah.
but how much do you think mail touched? Like how many of those transactions got a piece of mail from you?
I'm gonna guesstimate I'm somewhere in the 95, 98%. Almost pretty much almost everyone, because I use mail for anniversaries. When the client buys, they get a mail card, on their anniversary date. Um, they're just getting what's your home worth value. They're just getting touched. We have programs where we have, our Thanksgiving Day pie giveaway.
Yeah, your Pi Day is awesome.
And
Tell
and
people about
and
that if you don't mind.
and that just it's just blowing up. And it's
Tell
fun,
people tell people about Pi Day because it's the oldest
Yeah.
school thing done in the newest school way, the
Yeah,
way you
so the
do it.
new school way is, and we've targeted what the great thing about the Pi Day and Thanks IO is we've been able to add to our neighborhood people that don't even know who the heck I am or haven't had a touch with me, and they're coming to pick up a pie, and they're like, it's a touch point and a talking opportunity, and then we add them into our other systems that we have going in thanks.ai. And now we're seeing, business coming from strangers that came in to pick up a pie. Pie Day was originally set for our existing clients and customers, those that attend our workshops, our webinars. But now we've added to it and grown, and now we're going out to the neighborhood, which is an awesome program.
I want to just tell everybody. So you send a cold postcard to the neighborhood, right?
Yeah.
Advertising Pi Day. It's usually a picture of you and your team with some
Yes.
pies. You set a date where they all pull up, usually a week or two before Thanksgiving. They
Yes.
drive to your office
Yes.
with the postcard in hand
Yes.
to redeem their pie.
Yes.
You have a conversation about real estate as you're like handing them a pie.
Yes.
And then all those people end up on your further mail drips and your other
Yes.
CRM and your email and texting drips as well. But it, it's it's really sophisticated, but it's so basic. You're just bribing people to come to your office.
It's super basic, and you mentioned that bribery thing, and I'm starting to now test some of your Thanks IO. You have some really cool gifting programs where you can send stuff out. And listen to this, audience. This is what's so crazy. You can send stuff out other than paying for the postage. You're only paying if they redeem it. So if you send like 100 Starbucks, correct me if I'm wrong, if I send 100 Starbucks cards out, here's
Yeah.
$25 if you have me come in your house and give you a value of your home. And if they don't redeem it, it costs zero. If they
Yeah.
do redeem it, we pay for the gift card. Like,
Yeah. Yeah. If you want to schedule a 15-minute session with me to talk about the value of your house, here's your gift card. But if you don't, so that's a really good lead for, and people will scan that for
yeah.
15, $20. So
And we're
yeah, so
testing
that,
that. By the way, we operate several other businesses outside of real estate. I'm in entertainment, I'm in some investment property stuff, some mortgage stuff where we buy notes, and we're using these same systems in all those other businesses. And I'm seeing crazy, crazy similar results that I've gotten. I've just, used it in real estate the longest, and now I'm sending it into all our other businesses, and it's working really well, like really
yeah.
well.
So let's recap. Why do you think mail works better? You've probably spent money on other channels.
Yeah,
For
I spent tons of money in other channels, like tons of money. I think it's because you can, I'm not getting any competition in the mailbox. So like, it's not like, like Facebook, there's 1,000, you're competing with 1,000 people and it moves so quickly and everything. It's something tangible. It's in your hand. You know, even if you pick it up at the mailbox and you end up dropping in the trash can, you're
yeah.
still looking at it and reading the messaging, right? And it's the frequency of it. So you can adjust the frequency and you're building a piece in the customer's mind of who you are, your identity. And it just makes getting whatever your business is so much better by doing it that and it's you can tie it to results, right? So you can all my direct mail usually has QR codes, call to
Yeah.
actions. I'm watching every one of those CTAs to see, hey, which piece is working? What kind of response rate are we getting, right? We know exactly what messaging works and we can adjust it, right? If we see our response rates decline, we can, change the messaging or change the
Yeah.
call to action.
What's you're gonna have this answer. I've never asked you. What's the longest time period somebody has called you off of a mail piece from when they got it delivered? Because I know this happens. Have you
Oh,
had somebody
yeah.
call you like 3 years later or something?
Funny you say that. I've been in listing presentations, and it's usually, I mean, it's typically would be a senior home seller,
Yeah.
and they have like one of those accordion or manila files, and in it is a whole series of stuff. And I've gone to the listings, they have like 10 of these cards, and I'm like, holy cow, and they save them, which is crazy.
For what? 3 years, 5 years?
I'm going to say I've had some that are 15 years or
Right.
older in
They have
in
a folder on
retention.
Brett Furman.
Yeah, they'll hold them.
You've never heard from them,
Nope.
and then all of a sudden you get the call.
And you all of a sudden get the call. So it's not always you can say, hey, if I send a piece out tomorrow, am I going to get a response back that minute? It doesn't really work like that. Although I will say this, Ryan, and I'm going to give you
It
another
happened
huge shout
yesterday.
out. So yes, was it? Yeah, yesterday, Michelle in my office took a call from somebody saying, "Hey, I need to talk to Brett. I'm thinking about selling my house." So had the conversation. Hey, could you tell me you know, now I knew the answer to this question because I can look in my CRM and it told me exactly where this person came from already. Because once they call in, right, caller ID picks up, I can open up the CRM, I see all the stuff. And it's basically this is a brand new customer that literally just got a just sold card within the last 3 days and said, yep, I'm raising my hand. I want to sell my house. Can you come talk to me? And,
It
you know,
happens sometimes.
it's a beautiful thing. Like, I'm not saying that happens all the time, but when it does, I get really excited, as you can tell.
Yeah. Yeah, I wish we could guarantee that on every just sold. But your
Yeah,
program, and I want to share with everybody, you run a fairly simple front end program where you're very consistent about sending just listed and just sold postcards,
yeah,
and you've been building a database of people who respond to those. That's how you know who they are. They're in your CRM, and then they get more mail after that.
yes.
It, it, it's fairly simple, and then it's going to be really interesting because we've only known each other about a year, maybe a year and a half. It'll be very interesting if in 5 years you're like, "Hey, remember that postcard you sent in 2025? I just got a
Yeah.
listing," because it's going to happen.
It
Um,
will definitely happen. And I mean, I've seen that just,
yeah,
by retention of the information. And some of the retention is because I had certain offers or things on the card, which gives them an incentive to, to save them.
yeah. I also want to bring something else up. You're in a unique position where you've been in the same market for a fairly long time.
Yeah.
So you have some notoriety, which not every agent has, but for people watching who have been in market for 5, 10, 20 years, it amplifies that notoriety, right? The fact that you're still landing in the mailbox. Because it's easy for people who worked with you 20 years ago to forget you. Um, I guess what I'm trying to say is there are people getting mail from you now who you've probably had relationships in the past, but you're falling way out of touch. And the
I'll give
mail
you
is, yeah,
my most successful campaign. We launched, I'm going to say it was like in December, right? Like probably the worst time to send stuff, but it was only designed to get more Google reviews. That's a classic example. I sent this to people I transacted with 38 years ago. They got a direct mail card asking for a review. Now they also got text and there's a whole sequence of things. In a period of, I'm going to say it was maybe a 2 week period of time, I was absolutely blown away by this. I think I went from like 90 to 125 Google reviews, something like that, all from
yeah.
this one campampagn. Like,
And you had
that's
conversations off of
insane.
it. I'm sure some of those people had a back and forth conversation with you for whatever reason, because you thank them for the review or whatever, and
Yeah.
it's a good touch point. So, anything else, Brett? You'd mentioned about mail. I know you have a team of agents at your office. You're always beating this drum to, but very few actually do it, right?
Yeah.
It's
Very few.
so that's in therein is the competitive advantage. Many people will watch this video. Most people will not implement, but if you're one of those people watching who likes to zig while the others are zagging, mail.
Go left when they go right. And again, I think the channels of, I'm not saying that I have nothing against social media because I'm in it and I use it and everything. But quantitatively, I can't tell you when the last call I got said, "Hey, Brett, I saw your video on Facebook. You want to come list my house?" It just, I've never had that call, but I do get the, "Hey, I got this direct mail card. I'm staring at you in the face. Can you come out and talk to me about selling my house?" I get those calls all the time.
Yep. And for every one of those calls you get, there's another 10 that are just holding on to the card, which is the beautiful
Yeah.
thing because they don't all call you right away.